Hi there, my name's Aaron Short. Welcome to my YouTube channel. And today is Wednesday, February 16th. I hope you had a wonderful Valentine's week. And if you didn't get any Valentine's cards or roses, the good news is there's lots of guitars and amplifiers that you can treat yourself or your loved one to instead. Because this week there's been so many new releases, it's off the charts. I gotta be honest, I'm very aware of this stuff. And I watched a food YouTuber, and she always says at the start of her video, if you're easily triggered by food and the talk of food, then don't watch. And today's show will be, I'm being serious, today's show is like that. There's so many cool things that I'm going to talk about that if you're someone that wants to buy this gear as soon as you hear about it, this is serious, I'm not kidding. I don't want to be responsible for people buying stuff that they shouldn't, or they whatever the word is. But there's a good side and a bad side. The good side is lots of new releases this week, more new releases than we even had at like the week of the virtual NAMM event. And then, of course, lots of stuff that you could potentially buy. So just be aware of that. Having said that, I'm going to drop the links as we go. I'm going to put my affiliate link to Sweetwater in the chat as I talk about the product. So if you do want to buy something, then use my link. It supports the channel. And let's talk about it. Let's see what here is actually stuff that we might actually really be interested in. And there's just been a great week for me because there's lots of products here that I'm really interested in. So let's debate it all together. It'd be really cool. Before we begin, last week was a bit of a disaster with the sound, and I figured out what it was. And I want to let you know. I want to be transparent on here. Last week, it was the jack input. That's the reason I couldn't get the sound through from my Helix native software. It was actually the guitar. It was the Harley Benton. So I took that to my tech, and he just bent the jack slightly. You remove the jack plug, you bend it so it makes a tighter connection, and now it's fine. So I want to let you know that in case you're buying a Harley Benton, that's how you would fix it. And that really threw me, so I'll be putting that in my review. Obviously, if I went to a gig with that guitar and that happened, that could be a real problem. But it was fixed, and if you do buy one of those guitars, you should probably do that to the jack before you even play it, just to make sure that everything's working. So this is good research too. Hopefully this will save these problems happening to you, because if you buy the same thing, you'll know going in what to look for. I'm not saying that all the guitars have those issues, but the likelihood is, I had two that had rough frets I had to polish. Likelihood is that if you get one tomorrow, you'll have that as well. And the jack could be bad on any guitar. Again, I'm not saying Harley Benton, but any guitar can have that. So you buy a new guitar, you're going to play a gig with it, always take a spare and always check these things well before you even go to the show. The best advice really is to have the spare, isn't it? Have a spare at all times. So before I begin, let's say hi to people that are here. So T says, the George Harrison Telecaster. Woo, woo, woo. Woo, woo, woo. I've got so many thoughts on that. That's going to take up a little bit of the start of the show. Actually, that's the second on the agenda, I think. But I have a lot of thoughts on the George Harrison Tele because of the Get Back documentary and because I'm a huge Beatles fan. And I was actually trying to get one of those before, and they've re-released it more affordably. So we're going to talk about that, certainly. Jim says, hi from Vermont. We're expecting a sap run tomorrow, and most likely we'll be boiling the sap for production of maple syrup. Now I'm hungry, Jim. I'll take a drink from the Soundhole Sniffer mug. You can get yours at the link in the chat. There it is. David Belcher, my friend, how are you doing? It's great to see you here. Thank you for supporting what I do. Good morning, Aaron, everyone in the chat. I hope you're having a good week. I sure am. Things are going quite well in New York these days. BMO says, hi all. Patsy Smith says, hello to Aaron and everyone from a very windy UK. Awesome. David says, hi to everybody. And S. Willis. S. Willis, thank you for the buy me a coffee. I really appreciate that the other day. And anyone that sends a super chat or a coffee, I really, really appreciate it. And I'll always try to thank you personally on the stream or by a text. But just know that I appreciate every single one of those. Bernard Smith is here from Suffolk in the UK. And Marianne is here from Suffolk in the UK as well. Marianne, I hear this new Ed Sheeran song. Can you tell me what that's called? I'm trying to learn more songs lately, so it'd be good to learn his latest hit. I guess all of Ed Sheeran's songs are hits, right? He's good. David Belcher says hi to S. Willis. BMO says, hey BMO, been a long time. How you doing? I says hi to David. Anthony Liban, good to see you here. What kind of guitar is that in your picture? Let us know. Everyone's saying hi to each other. Jim says, good afternoon, David, Patsy, BMO. Where's Roeth? I haven't seen Roeth lately. I think he's busy. Lisa says, good morning, everybody. What's the time where you are, Lisa? It's 1:04 here. I guess that's the afternoon, right? And Anthony says hi to Lisa. I won't read out every single comment if you're talking to each other, but I try to show as many comments as I can. If there's a topic you want me to go into detail about, like I get a lot of questions lately about what pickup should I put in my acoustic, which acoustic guitar should I buy for this amount of money, etc. Where should I buy from? If you've got something you want me to go into real detail about, then feel free to super chat. I'll make that a priority. If I don't get any of those today, I'm going to focus on the new gear releases because there's so many to talk about anyway. Brad is here. How you doing, Bradders? Says hi, chums. Oh, that's an FG830. So that's the guitar I reviewed, right? Did you buy that off the back of my review, or did you have it already, Anthony? Let me know, because that video did really well. Great guitar for the money. I have to say that. It's true. S. Willis says I had a place in Queens on Parsons Boulevard. How is New York? New York's good. I mean, you know, obviously there's still a lot of problems. It's not as it was. Like I'm really referring to the music scene. Like music scene is starting to come back. Of course, everything's very unpredictable right now, but we'll see. We'll see. I'm going to press ahead with the YouTube channel and just do whatever shows that I can. And hopefully in the summer we'll get more outside shows as well. That was good last year with the wedding season. It's with Taylor Swift, the Joker and the Queen. Oh, I've heard of that one. I think I've seen, it's funny, on Instagram I've seen clips of the video, but I haven't actually seen or heard the song yet. Everything's visual now, isn't it? Oh, Lisa's in San Mateo, CA. Awesome. So it is morning there, 10:04. Cool. Anthony had it already. Yes, I love it too. Yes, it's a great guitar. Not even a great guitar for the price. It's just a great guitar. I really believe that. Let us know if you did any changes to it. Did you modify the action or replace any parts? That'd be good to know. Because today is Gear Chat. But let's get on with this. Let's go into this thing here. Because I need a good sound effect to mark this occasion. There's some really, really cool stuff that's been announced. Okay, so what's a good noise for that? Maybe this one? Not really, Brad. That's not the right sound, is it? How about this one? Let's do an applause. Okay. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the link, my affiliate link, in the chat. So just be aware that is an affiliate link, but you can click that and read about the products as we go. And I'm going to show it on the screen as well. So there we go. That's my link with Sweetwater. And this is really, really cool. I think I'm more excited about this guitar than a lot of guitars and than a lot of people as well. I don't know why that is. You tell me what you think of this model here. And we'll talk about this for a little while. So this is a new Martin release. I had no idea this was coming. Yes, I was at the Martin factory last week for our live stream, but they didn't show this to me or anything like that. I wish they had done. I wish I got the scoop on this guitar. I almost got the scoop because I woke up and saw it. I think it was on the Martin website or Sweetwater website. I saw it. So I knew about it pretty quickly. Now let's look at this guitar. This is a Martin 00028. Brooke Lidgettwood. I think that's how you say her name, Lidgettwood. Now I've not heard of Brooke before. I was mostly interested in the guitar, and you'll see why immediately. I'm interested in this guitar because look what it looks like. Yes, I know it looks like the John Mayer, right? Yes, it does. It's got that abalone rosette around the sound hole. It's got her signature, and that's fine because you can't really tell. You know, it doesn't say Brooke on it, so that's cool. Inside it does say Brooke. Now, this is not limited. They're going to make as many as they get orders for. So there won't be that many of them. But the cool thing is, if you buy one right now, you get these low numbers. So for example, check this out. You can see in the sound hole here, these are good pictures. This is number 7. Isn't that great? So I heard that she had guitars 1 and 2, maybe 3, I think 1 and 2 at least. So you can buy right now number 7 of this guitar. I think that's really cool, just to get a low numbered guitar, as long as you like the pictures, of course. Now this guitar has a VTS top. I'm not a huge fan of VTS on guitars that I've played, but I'm open to trying it out some more. With the VTS, you do get this certain look to a guitar. Some of them have this kind of stripe in the middle. Some do not. If you look at the pictures here of what's in stock, this one on the right is okay. Some of these have a real obvious stripe down the center. You might like that, you might not. The top is Sitka. I sound like I work at Sweetwater, right? The top is, I read too much information on these pages. The top is Sitka Spruce. It's got the VTS. It's got the abalone rosette that I love and nothing else. So it's not really blingy like a 42. It's just that subtle look. This is what my custom shop has. I really like that. Now, it's also got the narrow nut, which the John Mayer has. So my first thought was, is this another John Mayer? Are Martin secretly sneaking out John Mayer customs without us knowing? It's got the same nut. Well, there is a difference here. I really like the decal on the headstock, that her logo there. I think it looks really nice. Again, a little bit reminiscent of the whole John Mayer thing, but obviously not his logo. The neck is different. The neck is a V, and I've said before, I'm not a fan of V-necks. I've had like a CEO 7, and the neck kind of, I said is the reason I sold it, but then again, the narrow nut is the reason I sold my John Mayer. I know I sound crazy, but my point is I'm open to trying this neck shape again. But aside from that neck shape, this is pretty much a John Mayer for $3,600. Now, the John Mayer OMJM is $4,000. I think this is a much better purchase. Remember, it is short scale. You might prefer that. It does have the slight V-neck. You might prefer that. I think someone like Roeth might really like this guitar. I wish he was here, actually. So let me know what you think in the chat. Would you buy one of these? It does not have a pickup. I know she uses the Anthem, which is a great system. I'm surprised they didn't provide it with it, but that also keeps the cost down as well. So my advice to you, and this is just my opinion. I've got an itchy nose, excuse me. This is just my opinion. If you're looking to buy the OMJM, I would look at an OM28 if you want to save money. I'd look at the OM42 if you want something that's, in my opinion, a higher grade instrument that will be easier to resell. And I would definitely look at one of these because I think this is giving you that narrow nut and that look of the Mayer for a lot less money. And if you buy an original Mayer right now, you're looking at over $10,000. I think this is a good way to get close to that. And if you prefer the neck on this, that V-neck, it's perfect for you. So I do think this is really, really exciting. I also saw a video where she spoke about maple inside. I don't quite know what she meant. I apologize if it's me. I don't think there's maple inside the guitar. I need to ask Martin about this. I did see it has maple binding, and that's nice too. It doesn't have the plastic binding. It has the maple binding. I would consider that an upgrade myself. So the maple binding, and whether that's affecting the sound, I don't know. She said this is louder than a lot of other 0028 guitars in her video. I'd love to try that. I am really tempted to get one of these. I'm in a situation right now where I've got some pedals and multi-effects and guitars that I'm going to be selling. I would consider one of these. It's very similar to the guitar that I already have. That's the only thing. But if these are going to be limited and you're looking for something like this, I would strongly consider it. I think this is a really exciting model, and I'm more excited by this than I was by the releases they had at the January Virtual NAMM event. I think this is a really cool guitar, and I'm surprised people aren't talking about it more. Some people are talking about it more, but they're talking about the Sunburst, which is interesting, because there's also a Sunburst version. Let me see if I can pull that up for you as well. And I noticed these haven't sold yet, but I noticed the Sunburst sold immediately. And she also, Brooke said in one of her videos, that's her favorite guitar. So that's another good reason to get the Sunburst. And you see they're sold out right now. I said the other week on our Monday show that I'm not a huge fan of the Martin Sunburst. I do agree though. I do think this particular guitar looks really nice with the Sunburst. I think it works well with the decoration on it. So I've seen a few people on Facebook talking about buying this particular version, and I can see why. It looks really, really nice. So you tell me in the chat, what do you think of this guitar? Are you interested in buying one of these? Do you think this is a good model? I think it's great they've worked with Brooke. I don't know anything about Brooke. I listened to her music and watched her videos after hearing about the guitar, which I think is cool too. I also reached out to see if she'd be interested. In coming on to the show to talk about the guitar. I'm sure she's very busy, but hey Brooke, if you're watching this, I'd love to have you on here to talk about your life in the music industry and this guitar, because you designed this guitar and it's really cool. I think the choices you made are really cool. Obviously, I'm biased because I'm a fan of this style of guitar anyway, but I still think it's really cool. And so, yeah, that's an open invitation there. So let me come over to the chat just so I stay in sync with everybody. Anthony says, I haven't done anything yet. Made a video on reviewing it. Okay, cool. I'll check that out. And Brad said, shared on Facebook. Thank you, Brad. I appreciate you sharing my show. That really helps. Anthony Lee says, hello to Brad. So I've got no comments. No, do we have no thoughts on this guitar? Remember, this is an interactive show. I want your thoughts and opinions as well. So do let me know what you think of that. I'm just getting the pictures ready for the next guitar. 1 second. Okay. So no thought. Okay, well I know there's a lag here as well, but let me know what you think of that guitar. I really like it. Maybe it's just me then, but I think it's really cool. And I do believe if you're looking for a guitar of that style, this is a good way to go. Do note though that the Sunburst version is $200 more. The Sunburst version is $200 more than the regular top. Okay, I think that's quite a lot of extra money for that look. If you love that look, of course it's worth it, but it is $200 extra money. And there's no pickup. Maybe you don't want a pickup. If you want the Anthem that Brooke uses, you're gonna have to pay another $200 or $300 for the Anthem as well. But I think that would be a great guitar if you do that. Okay, I got some chats coming in now. Let's see. Anthony says, I like the color. You like the Sunburst? See, everyone loves the Sunburst on this guitar. And I think it's because of that abalone rosette. I think it works really well with that sparkle and then that wood color as well. S. Willer says, the guitar looks great. If you like a smaller nut, it could be a great little guitar for someone at a reasonable price. Yeah, that's the thing. A lot of Martins now don't have the narrow nut. I'm very indifferent to the nut width myself. And I know some people like the wider nut, so that might put them off. But hey, if you're looking for a narrow nut, again, I think this is really in competition with the OMJM. A lot of people would say there's no such thing as competition between Martin guitars, but what I'm trying to say is if you're shopping right now for an OMJM, I think you should consider this one, definitely, especially while it's available. Lisa likes the Sunburst, but Brad doesn't like the Sunburst. Looks like a Gibson, he says. Interesting. Patsy Smith is not a fan of Sunburst either. Yes, exactly, Bimo. Thank you. It's a full dovetail. That's my point. For $35.99, $3,600, you get a 0028 with the full dovetail, the abalone rosette, and the maple binding. I think I'm hesitant to say it's a good deal. You know, this stuff is all relative, but in comparison to other current models, I think it's a good deal, and it's a limited edition, which I think is nice too. David likes the natural. Me too. Me too. Danielle says, maybe it's the photo, but I don't care that Sunburst at all. Transition from dark to light changes to... Exactly. Well, I said this on our Monday show a few weeks ago. The Martin Sunburst is very abrupt, and I'm not usually a fan at all. I do think it works on this model, as others on Facebook have said. I can see what they're saying. I do think it looks cool on this model. But I like my Martins to be natural, and also it's $200 more. So I would go for a natural. And also the thing about the natural is that you get more choice because they've got them in stock. Like these, I don't think they've sold these yet. Not that I've seen. But there's 4 in stock right now. And like I said, the cool thing is if you click on the picture and look in the sound hole, which you can do on here, look, number 7. I'm sure other stores have other numbers too, but we've got 7, 10, 14, and 23. So when these came out, I looked to see if they had like number 3, thinking that Brooke had 1 and 2 and I could get number 3. Just as a collectible thing, you know, but that's still cool. I think they've got number 7 there. Lisa says, I'd rather spend the extra money on the pickup. I agree. And David says, agree. And Brad says, I'm happy with my 0028. I'm not convinced by these signature models. You know, Brad, a lot of people don't like signature models. But for me, it gives me a way to get like a custom style guitar without waiting for a custom shop and paying a little bit less money. So I'm not a huge fan myself in principle, but I'm okay with it if the instrument is good. And if it doesn't have the name plastered right over it, I'm okay with that. I mean, here it is on the label, but it's right inside the guitar. So that's item number 1. That is the new Martin release. I think it's really nice. Danielle says, I've seen some nice bursts on Collings and SCGC guitars lately. Yeah, you mean Santa Cruz? Yeah, that is Santa Cruz. Yeah, I'm just had to remind myself. So you're right. I don't think the Martin Sunburst is my favorite. I think they could change it, but that's just my opinion. Let's quickly move on to the next item. Oh, another thing. Did you notice what's behind me? I had the frets filed on the Acoustasonic. The Acoustasonic neck shrunk and the frets were sharp. It was so sharp it's uncomfortable to play. I was able to rehumidify it back in a hard shell case. Remember, this comes with a gig bag, so it's hard to do. But I repurposed another hard shell case and I got the frets to come back with a ton of humidity in the case. But then within 24 hours, they were sharp again. So I took this to my tech and he sanded down the frets and now it's beautiful. And it's not a huge job, he tells me. For some reason, I thought shaving down the frets edges of your guitar is a huge job. And I would always suggest you use humidity first to see if it's just a lack of humidity. But if you've got sharp frets on your guitar and it's cutting your hands and you can't humidify it back, you should take that guitar and have them filed down. Apparently it's not a huge job. And now that guitar is fantastic. It was so worth doing. And I'm really happy with it. And I'll be using that this Sunday. That's the Acoustasonic Telecaster. Acoustasonic Stratocaster. All right, item number 2. This is a big one. I got a lot to say about this guitar. I want to know what you all think about this guitar. And I've got some funny stories about it as well. This is good. This is cool. Hang on, I've got to find it first of all. I can't find it on here. George Harrison. Rosewood Telecaster. So, put in the chat if you watched the documentary Get Back. Did you watch the documentary Get Back? Let me know in the chat, please. And I expect that everyone watched it. I'm just trying to find the listing because these sold out. I watched these sell out in front of my eyes. It was absolutely insane what happened with this. I'm trying to find a listing to show you all because I might have to just show you a picture. Let me just download the pictures I got here. This is absolutely nuts what happened with this. And I have a fear. I'll just work while I talk. I have a fear. I have a concern. And my concern is that people bought these guitars to sell. Now that's a whole new topic. You know, people buy stuff and sell it. If you buy something and you want to sell it on at market value, that's fine. It's frustrating when people buy stuff with the intention of buying them all to sell them on. It's frustrating if you want one and you can't get one and you have to pay more money. But I mean, this is a whole video that we can do another time. This takes a lot of thought. But that's all I'm saying here is basically what happened is that these just sold out instantly. And the reason is, to give you a bit of backstory, George Harrison had one of these guitars. I'm still looking for the link. I'll keep talking. George Harrison had one of these guitars. And he was gifted this by Fender. So Fender sent him this guitar. It's a Telecaster made of rosewood. So most guitars aren't made of solid rosewood. This Telecaster was a solid Telecaster rosewood. Now, solid rosewood Telecaster. If you have watched the Get Back documentary, you've seen this guitar. It's iconic. It's really, really iconic. It's what they used on the rooftop performance for the Get Back movie. And everyone's seen that performance on the rooftop, right? And George Harrison with that brown guitar. That is a Rosewood Telecaster. Now, the funny thing is, I want to add to this, is that there's a story that I read. I'm not sure how true it is, but there's a story that I read that George Harrison didn't actually like this guitar. He found it too heavy. And indeed, if you look at Rosewood Telecasters from that time, they were really heavy. I think someone said 11 pounds, but certainly well over 8 pounds, 9 pounds kind of area. For me, that's too heavy for a guitar. I wouldn't like that. So what they did is they re-released these guitars in limited numbers a few years ago, about 5 or 6 years ago, and they chambered the guitar. They made the guitar chambered out to make it lighter. And they issued this guitar as a reissue. I think it was a custom shop made version about 6 years ago. I'm just guessing here. And I didn't buy one. I remember seeing them released and thinking, oh, I really want to get one. I really want to get one. And I didn't get one. So what happened? They all sold out. And then they went for silly money on the internet. Like crazy, crazy, crazy money, right? I'm going to put a link now. Now, these are sold out right now. I think there's more coming in. This is the link. So let me know if that link works. Actually, it needs the extension. 1 second. HTTPS. Try that for me. So that should be the Fender George Harrison Telecaster Natural. So the funny thing is, I don't think I heard a story that George didn't like the guitar. It was too heavy for him. So he was a Strat player, right? So these reissues were hollowed out. Now, I didn't get one. I kind of forgot about them. And then I saw the documentary. And if you saw me online that week, I went nuts. I went so nuts over this guitar. I went absolutely crazy. I was like, I need that. I need to be the Beatles. I was so into that documentary. I wanted the guitar. So I looked on Reverb. There was 2, and I wasn't sure. The price was really high. And I went on Musician's Friend. And now Musician's Friend are good, actually. When you call them up and you speak to someone in the guitar gallery, they're very helpful. And the nice guy there said, we're getting some in. I said, great, I think I'm going to get one. This is a few months ago. I said, I think I'm going to get one. I really want one. Okay, cool. So then he sent me pictures when they came in, but they weighed like 8.5 pounds and they were expensive. I think they were custom shop versions. So they were not cheap and they were really heavy. So my first thought was, okay, I don't want it. Like I'm not going to buy a guitar that's really heavy. Most guitars that are really heavy may have like some kind of electronics that do some wizardry that I want, but just a regular Telecaster, I don't want anything over 8 pounds. In fact, these days I just bought some scales. I like my electric guitars to weigh around 7 pounds. 7 pounds, 7.5. Anything up to 8. 8 pounds is okay. 7 is awesome. Anywhere in between those two, like halfway between those two, is really nice. So remember, this version they've just re-released is the chambered version. So most of these are under 8 pounds. And we do see the weight on here as well. So let me show you this one on the screen. Yeah, this should be the right one. It says they're no longer there. So here we go. So what do you think of this? Interesting that George himself wasn't a fan, apparently. But his was really heavy. This is chambered. This is lighter. What do you think? Price is around 2,800. And remember, if you were looking for one of these a few months ago, you were looking at 5,000 to 10,000. And I think that's why they've sold so many. I think a lot of people are looking at selling these on, which again, I don't have a very strong opinion on that. There's a lot of different cases for buying and selling gear. We'll talk about that another time, but you can still get these. These are still going to be coming in. They had a big shipment yesterday, which sold out. Like I said, I went on the site and I looked at the pictures of the 4 guitars and it went 3. And it said, this one sold. Okay, 3 guitar. This one sold. Okay. I didn't like the look of the tops of them. And it said, this one sold. They all sold. So I found another website that had one in stock, looked really great. And I chatted with them on the live chat, and another dealer around here somewhere. And I said, that looks great. Is that the guitar? And by the time they'd replied to say that was the guitar, it's sold. But that was another one. Then they said, oh, the one you inquired about, we do actually have. And then by the time I replied and said, I want to get it, they said it's sold. But there are more coming in to Sweetwater and Musician's Friend, I believe. You can still get one. But, yeah, I don't know. I kind of want to try one just because of the whole Beatles thing. I mean, and I don't have a Tele like this. I have a Tele with the humbuckers in it. I don't have a straight up Tele. So I'd kind of like to get one of these. But what do you think in the chat? Does this interest you at all? I think with this guitar, I'm more into the connection with the Beatles. And of course, playing this will not make you George Harrison, unfortunately. Let me see what you're saying in the chat. Here's a picture here. I'll put it over here. What do you think of that top on that one? That top actually looks good. Some of the tops are really warped. Not, warped. I mean, visually, the lines, the wood grain lines on some of them are really uneven. And this rosewood can be very, it seems, especially on a guitar where they've made 1,000, it can be very hit and miss. It's not like a custom shop where they've taken the best woods. So what do you think of that right there? All right. Oh, I've got some good comments here. Let me catch up on the chat while you're looking at that picture. That's not the sort of thing you expect on quite an expensive guitar. What's that, Brad? If that 007 was over this, of the Atlantic, it would be snapped up by a Martin James Bond fan. I'm confused. S. Willer says, yes, I watched it. Oh, Get Back. Okay. Bieber, you didn't watch Get Back? You can just go and watch it right now. It's incredibly inspiring. Lisa saw it. David, you haven't seen it. If you haven't watched Get Back yet, you need to subscribe to Disney Plus and watch it ASAP. It changed my life. Brad, come on. Oh, I'm disappointed. But everyone just leave now. Go watch Get Back, okay? Forget this. No, I'm just kidding. Stay. Double Small, how you doing, buddy? T says, haven't seen it yet, but I plan to. Well, you just have to watch. You have to, as soon as you can, you have to watch Get Back. You have to. It changed my life. It really did. Not long term, I don't believe, but that week, it really changed my week. And it also sold 1,000 or 10. No, it sold 1,000 George Harrison Telecaster reissues. Muddy Creek Gritters. Hello from windy and warm southern Ohio. Joined late, but all caught up now. Great. Anthony's going to check it out. Okay, Lisa added Disney Channel for 1 month, $5 to watch it, then cancelled. There you go. I think it's $10, Lisa. I think I saw $10 for my plan. But you can sign up for $10, watch it, which is it's like a 3-part documentary, and then cancel. I messed up. I didn't cancel Disney Plus, so we still have it. And I keep thinking, well, I'm going to watch it. You know, these subscriptions, they get you, right? Because you think, oh, I won't cancel it because I'm going to watch it tomorrow. It's like my diet. I'm going to start it tomorrow. So I must cancel it, yeah. Disney Plus is good, but I already have Hulu and Netflix. I don't need that as well. Charlie says, as I recall, they were heavy. That's right. I was just saying, Charlie, that we believe that Harrison didn't like his guitar because it was too heavy. This version is chambered, so it's hollowed out, so it's lighter. Of course, that also means you're getting less wood for your money. It's like that chocolate with the holes in it. BMO says Elvis sent his back as it was too heavy. Oh dear, they're selling a guitar that the artist didn't actually want. Well, maybe he would have liked this version with the hollowed body. Muddy Creek Critters, greetings from hot and humid Florida. Thomas Moore, I've played Fenders with rosewood necks and did not like it at all. They were too bright. Interesting. The custom shop version was 2017. Okay, so it was about 5 years ago. I remember that. I was into gear at that time. I wasn't doing that many videos, but I was into gear tea. So I almost bought one. Of course, a few years later, you wish you had because you could have sold it on easily. Well, that's what people are thinking now, right? They're thinking, well, they're making 1,000 more. Let's get one. We can easily resell it. That's what's happening. Hi, Aaron and everyone in the chat, listening while at work. Good to hear you're working, Rosanna, and listening at the same time. David Belcher, would you rather have this or the Martin Authentic or both? I don't like these questions, David, about what would you pick. Like, what would you grab running out of the building if you could grab one guitar? It's very difficult to answer these questions. Sometimes I do think about it because sometimes I have these thoughts of selling everything, or what if I have to sell everything, right, and keep one guitar? That could happen. So, would I rather have that or an Authentic? I think they make a great combination. I think a 0028 or an OM28 and an Authentic Dread, I think it covers everything. And then I would put an Anthem in that smaller guitar for the stage and keep the Authentic. I think that's what I would do. I'm not even saying this new model is better than my custom shop. I wonder if it is. My custom shop, as you've heard, sounds really good, in my opinion, and a lot of viewers' opinions. So I don't know. I haven't played it. I don't really comment on stuff I haven't played because you have to play stuff to recommend it. I haven't played any of the stuff today. It's all brand new. This is just purely speculation on my part. I think they make a great pair. A 0028 like that and an Authentic. I think you don't need much else for your Martins, at least. Different looking. I think we're on to the Tele now. I played it. I bet it played nice. Fenders are great guitars. Yeah, I'm a big Fender fan. I like my classic brands, but I'm also trying to branch out into more modern brands as well. But I do like my legacy brands. Lee is here. How you doing, buddy? Thomas Moore, don't like the Rosewood Tele. I'd rather have the Casino as a Beatles guitar. That's cool. I mean, they played so many iconic guitars. My Sonic Blue Strat is kind of inspired by the Harrison and Lennon Strats. I love that. Oh, Anthony has Disney Plus, but been watching Boba Fett instead. Actually, oh yeah, I can watch Boba Fett tonight. Thank you, Anthony. You've just fixed my evening for me. Awesome. BMO, made in Korea in the 80s for me. Paid $800 Canadian. It's a great guitar. What was that? You have a Korean Rosewood Tele? Muddy Creek Critters, thank you for buying me the coffees the other day. Really appreciate it. That was awesome. I've got one of them right here, look. In the Sandhole Sniffer mug. I like the colors of the Tele, but I'm very happy with my Fender American Ultra Telecaster. That has the noiseless pickups, right? Do you like that? Because I have... My Fender is a Pro 2, Professional 2, with the regular pickups. But I really like the look of the HSS Ultra Stratocasters. They're all sold out everywhere right now, but I was looking around for a used one a while ago. Some people don't like the noiseless pickups, but when you live in a noisy environment like me, they can be really helpful. T says, I read last night there was only 1,000 being made. That's true. That was on the Fender site. I can't find the same paragraph today. And 007 was James Bond's code name, and the Martin was number 7. Ah, so if you're okay, if you're James Bond, you would buy. I get it. I get it. I read that too. That they're making 1,000. Let's go on Fender right now and have a look. Fender had stock yesterday too. Fender sell direct, but they sold out really fast. It's $28.99 with a hard shell case, because some guitars don't even come with a case anymore. You know that. Let's see if it says it. It said it right here on the page yesterday. I wonder if they're going to make more. I wonder if demand was so ridiculous over this model that they're thinking, let's up it to 10,000. Because 1,000 isn't enough. Or was it 10,000? No, 1,000. Yeah, 1,000 ain't enough. They need to make more of those. Lee says, anyone good at maths to help me with my college work? I think 1 guitar added to 2 guitars is not enough. I'm terrible at maths. I failed it twice, Lee. I can't help you. It wasn't my favorite subject. I was too busy playing the piano and the guitar to study math. Rosanna says, we have watched Get Back. I shouldn't have said that, should I? I'm too honest sometimes. We have watched Get Back on Disney Plus. It was very good and very interesting. Twice. Yeah, I want to watch it. You say twice? Oh, no, you watched it once. Yeah, I want to watch it again. I want to watch it twice. Seen the first episode. I saw them live in '63. Wow, that's cool. Yeah, I found it a little bit slow. I hate to say that. When I first started watching the documentary, I was a bit kind of, what is this? It's like watching a band rehearsal. But it develops so well. And the fact that it's real life and then it becomes so entertaining throughout the whole thing is quite remarkable, I think. Bimo says the Tele was from a local demo YouTuber guy. I don't recall why he was selling. I think he caught the boutique bug. Don't do that. It's a very expensive route. Wasn't Ringo so patient? He was. He's great. To have a drummer that's that solid, both in timing and personality, is rare in my experience. Sorry to any drummers I've worked with. I'm not talking about you. This is a very nice looking guitar, says Brad. Finally, we found something that Brad likes the look of. Yes. I've tried for so long. Oh, the Acoustasonic. What? You like the look of my Acoustasonic or the Rosewood Telecaster? Let me show you the Acoustasonic again. That's my Acoustasonic. You like the look of that? I think I prefer the look of the Rosewood Tele to the Acoustasonic. But the Acoustasonic is a great stage guitar. It really is. But I like the look of this guitar. I wish my Acoustasonic... Yeah, a George Harrison Acoustasonic. How about that? It's just a stock Tele, not Rosewood. Oh, yours is. Okay. Yeah, the Rosewood Teles are quite unique. Just seen the live here. If you want to jump over to Google and type in rooftop concert, Beatles, look at George Harrison. He's playing this guitar. In Europe, they're $3,200. Ooh. Well, I guess that happens, doesn't it, T? When they have to ship the guitar from the States to Europe, the price goes up. The same thing happens with me with Cole Clark's and Maton guitars. People tell me that Cole Clark and Maton's in Australia are really affordable, but once they hit the USA and go through a distributor and a dealer, they go up by like $1,000. So it happens to us over here as well. All right, I know I'm getting a lukewarm reaction on this guitar. I think this is really cool, but I think I like this because of the connection to George Harrison and the rooftop concert. So I'm not sure, but I think if you're interested, it wouldn't be a bad idea to grab one because they're going to be limited. Having said that, they did release 1,000 before, and now they're releasing 1,000 again. So in 6 years' time, when there's another Beatles movie that they find in the archives, will there be another 1,000 released? With some models like this, they don't re-release them. For example, the John Mayer Martin never got re-released in its original form, which was several hundred of them. This guitar could well be re-released again next year, and then people that bought it as a collectible may be upset. I don't know. That could happen. It's just worth bearing it in mind. So that is the Rosewood Telecaster Beatles. Not many like the weight relieve Les Pauls, so who knows? I agree. Some people say when you weight relieve a guitar, you ruin the tone. Some people say you improve the tone. So the verdict is out. But there's a great video that I mentioned on Monday that with a guy that takes a Tele and removes the body. I linked it on Monday's show in the notes. And he proves that it's all about pickup and pickup height. The body material doesn't actually make much difference, apparently. But here's the thing with the materials, it gives you the look and the feel. But apparently it doesn't influence the sound that much. So who knows, right? T likes it. Awesome. If you like the Beatles, watch the film yesterday. Brad, I didn't watch it yesterday. I watched it about 3 weeks ago. Lisa loves it. But Lisa, you seem to like all the guitars. Am I right? Do you really want a guitar? Thomas Moore, come on. That's like I said, like with the candy. In England, they have candy called Aero, and it has bubble. They say it's got bubbles inside. Well, what that means is you're paying money for air in your candy. What a terrible business model that would be for me. I would love to hear George's opinion of the Rosewood Telly. Something tells me he didn't love it. He didn't even own it a year before he gave it to... right, I agree, Lee. Good to see you, Lee. I agree, but they say it was because of the weight. So maybe if he had this version, he would have liked it. He was definitely the Strat player, right? He loved his Strat, definitely. And because of the whole Eric Clapton influence as well. Who knows? Look, it's an iconic guitar. You know the most important thing with this guitar is to play it. Like both guitars so far today, I've said I'd love to have them and play them. That's just the truth. I don't know if I'd like them or not. I might love this thing. I might play one of these at Guitar Center and just fall in love with it. It might feel great. It might sound great. It might play great. It might leave me cold. I don't know. So this is all just speculation at the moment. Let's move on to our next product. Yes, there's more. In fact, there's even more than we're going to cover today, which is crazy. But I'm not going to cover absolutely everything. If there's anything you've heard of you want me to cover, then let me know in the chat. But we had another announcement here from Line 6. Hey, Chazza, how you doing? I see you there. Line 6. So I woke up yesterday and suddenly they've got a new amplifier. I leapt out of bed. I ran to the computer. I was like, I have to read about this first. This is a brand new thing. I guess this is what was going to come at NAMM or Summer NAMM or whichever NAMM. And these are the Catalyst amplifiers. So I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm going to drop my link into the chat. Right here. These are Catalyst amplifiers. Now, straight away, people made the connection and the comparison to the Boss Katana. Boss are a great company. They make great products. They made an absolute killing with this product, the Katana. When they made the Katana, people bought them in spades or in droves, whatever word you want to use. They're affordable. They sound really good. And I reviewed one on my channel a few years ago. It did sound really good. As much as lately I've been into the Quad Cortex and the Kemper and the real tube amps, they are really good. They're great value. They sound good. They're versatile. It looks like Line 6 have realized that, well, we should do that too. And hey, why not? So we've got three here. We've got one at $300, a 60 watt. Now remember, this is not 60 watt tube. This is 60 watt solid state. So that's not going to be that loud, I guess. But it's $300. That's a really good price. Then you've got $400 for 100 watts. That's more suited for like a rehearsal or a small gig. And then you've got the 212, so you've got two speakers in there, resulting in a larger cabinet, and that's $500. That's something you could gig with. All right, so let me choose the middle one. First of all, they look really good. They've got rid of the spider thing, which was kind of frowned upon by many players, and they've made it look classy. You've got a very simple design. The logo looks really nice. Yes, some people are saying that Catalyst is too similar to Katana. You know who you are, but there we go. That's what they've done. The price is good. The weight is really good. If you look at the weight of this amp here, it is only 32 pounds. That's great. You can grab this and go to a gig. It's got a lot of features. It's got amp models. Now, remember, I posted a video recently saying that the original model in the Line 6 Helix update that came out last week was a good move. Well, now we know why they did it. This, rather than have like a Fender sound, a Marshall sound, a Mesa sound, or sounds they took out of the Helix pedals, they made completely fresh original sounds. And they did exactly what I said I wanted them to do in my video. Rather than Fender clean, you just have clean. Drive, crunch, whatever. You just have those sounds. They're not based on an existing amp. Or if they are, they've been tweaked So I like this approach. We're getting to the stage now in 2022 where a new player might not know what a Fender is. I mean, I guess they would, but they might not. We don't need those names now. We need new, fresh ideas. So on this amp, you just have clean. You just have crunch, drive, dirty, clean, whatever. So I think that's a really smart move. Is this for someone like me? Bearing in mind that I've recently tried a lot of digital power amps that I was not happy with, and that even some of the higher end pedals don't really make me that happy, and I like tube amps. I don't know. Again, I haven't played one. I'd like to get one. I'd like to try one. I'd like to compare it to the Katana. But I've got a feeling that this isn't aimed at me, but I would like to try it. There is a direct output, very convenient. There's a USB hub so you can record with it. There is a mode to change the wattage so you can make it quieter or even silent, which your neighbors will appreciate late at night. There is a power amp in, so you could plug something like a quad cortex into this. So your quad cortex, not even a helix, can be plugged into this, into the power amp, and that can be your monitor on stage. Again, if this worked for me, I'd be very happy. My initial hunch is that this will not work for me because I'm just too fussy. But I think this is a great product for the price. I think if you need an amp or something for rehearsals, you should consider it. I think what we need is comparisons of this to the Katana, because this clearly is Line 6's version of a Katana. We need someone to compare this to a Katana and say which one they prefer. And more importantly, you need to do that. You need to go to Guitar Center, grab the two amps, put them side by side and play them. One thing with the Katana is they sell an optional foot switch with several switches where you can switch between several sounds, like 3 tones. On here, you have to buy an optional foot switch, which is only 2 buttons. You can use MIDI, but there's only 2 channels. Straight away, the Katana is better for me because you've got more channels. So I'm going to show you what I mean. I'm going to find the Katana on here. Also, you know, the Katana is so tried and tested. And that's important with gear too, right? We want something that's tried and tested. So the Katana 100 watt is also $400, and it's in stock right now. And let me show you this one here. So this one weighs, it's basically the same thing. It's going to weigh the same. 32.6. It's slightly heavier. Very, very slightly heavier. But this one has more channels, okay? If you buy the optional foot switch, it has more switches, and you can switch between clean, drive, and lead. For me, that's really important to have 3 channels. 2 doesn't really work for me. Even my real amps, the 2 real amps I have here have 3 channels. I really like the flexibility. And look, here's the foot switch. Now, this foot switch is $150 for the Katana. That's a lot of money, but it adds a lot of functionality. You actually get 4 channels. 4 channels, and if you press the effects button, then you've got all those buttons for effects. So with this and the Katana 100, you can easily do any gig. And I've actually considered using that myself. Like for a wedding, you just grab this foot switch, a clip-on tuner, the Katana, you go to the wedding, you plug in the amp, you send a direct feed to the PA, and you play, and you go home, and if someone breaks it, it doesn't matter. So I do see a good use for this. Will it sound as good as a tube amp? I'm going to say no, but it's more affordable, it's lighter, it's more convenient. So I can see why these are so popular. And if you're new to electric guitar, which I'm sure some people here don't even play electric, because I have a lot of viewers that play acoustic guitar, but you can use this as an acoustic amp as well. I don't know if you can with the Line 6. I didn't see that option. On the Boss, you can actually use an acoustic mode. So it can be your acoustic practice amp as well. So right now I'm leaning towards the Boss if I had to choose right now. But I would like to compare the two before I actually commit to that observation. But yeah, if you're new to guitar, you cannot go wrong. This is a great affordable option. If you do get a tube amp later, this is your backup or your acoustic or your monitor, which you could use as a monitor in flat mode. And for some people, I know professionals that are gigging with these because they are low cost. It doesn't matter so much if you break it. And they're more durable than tube amps as well because there's no tubes inside that can break. So that would be a great comparison, wouldn't it? Chazza, it's great to see you as always. Hope you're doing well. Rosanna said hi to you. Brad says, you were referring to having the frets done earlier on the Acoustasonic. Never mind, too late now. Ah, right. It's been a long time coming. For some reason, I thought it's best not to file your frets down because then if it gets humid again, they'll be too thin, too narrow. whatever the word is. They won't stick out enough. Then they'll recess. But actually, that guitar was so bad, and I was really worried about it. I was thinking, should I sell that and get another one? I was thinking this is going to be a $300 fix, and it will never be the same again. But it was a $30 fix, and it's perfect. I love it. I'm so happy with it. I didn't realize. I'm letting you know. You probably know this if you're watching this. But, I've been playing guitar a long time. I didn't realize what a small job it was. And I'm not belittling luthiers, by the way. I'm just letting you know. If you have a guitar and you take a sock or a stocking, Phil McKnight uses ladies' stockings. Some people use wood blocks. If you rub it along the neck and it frays, they're too sharp. Some people might find their hand gets cut. Remember I said the cheaper Harley Benton, the Strat version, had sharp frets suddenly? Well, I now realize I'm going to change my review. I was going to make a review and say I don't recommend that guitar because of the sharp frets, but I do recommend the other guitar. But actually, here's the thing. I told Thomann, like I said I would, and they sent me a credit for $35. So what I'm going to do, to be fair, is I'm going to take that $35. I'm going to have that guitar fixed as well, and then do the review. Because the fact is, yes, it had an issue, but Thomann made it right, and that's really cool. And then even with expensive guitars, we've all had issues, right? I've had issues with really expensive guitars that had bad switches or jacks or scratchy sound or something. It's not just the fact it's a cheaper Harley Benton, and they made it right. So I'm going to have that guitar done. I'm going to polish the frets like I did on the other guitar, which is quite a small job. And then I'm going to make the review based on the condition. I'll still tell people that there was issues and I had to fix them because it is still frustrating. But I think if a company makes something right, then that's okay because mistakes happen. Have you heard any rumors of Gibson bringing out an Elvis Aaron Presley guitar? I just heard Trogly saying he heard a... Oh. Is that electric or acoustic? I'd be interested. I've heard about another Gibson signature electric. I'm not going to tell you what it is, T, because I want to make sure I get one when they get released. But you can probably guess what I'm talking about, right? It's a shallow rumor right now. But there's another Gibson that I'm looking for. The Elvis would interest me as well. Thomas Moore says, I'm interested in the 100 watt. I like the idea. If you compare the Stomp or Podgo, it's cheaper. You can't compare them though, Thomas. I don't think that I prefer the Stomp over the Podgo. Podgo is a good option, I guess, with the more switches on it. But I don't think this amp has the power. I know it's based on the same technology, but from the reviews that I saw yesterday, and by the way, I think I saw Henning's review. Good review, but I wasn't that impressed with the sounds. Again, that's just based on what I heard yesterday, but I want to hear this in person. All this stuff is very important to hear in person. You have to hear stuff in the room. For me, that's the biggest thing with electric guitar. What do you hear in the room when you hit that chord? What do you hear? So I believe it's not as flexible as those devices. And of course, you don't have the foot switches either. So I'm wondering if a PA speaker and an HX Stomp is still a better way to go. The thing about Line 6 is there's so many choices. There's way too many options for me. You've got the Stomp XL, the Podgo, the effects, the floor, the LT, the plug-in, the power cab. And I'm not a fan of the power cab 212. I got that to review and I didn't actually make the review. I didn't like the sound of it. So I wonder if I like the sound of this more than the power cab. It's possible because they're different products, right? But there's so many options. I think for me, I like the HX Stomp straight to PA if that's a route I need to go. These days, I prefer playing through a real cab. And of course, this new amp is a real cab in there. So maybe I'll like it. I'm keeping with all this stuff, I keep an open mind, right? You can't base your opinions on just one product. You have to try different ones. Thomas Moore said, I'd love to compare with the Katana 2. I'd love to make that video. I'm not going to buy a Katana and a Line 6 amp just to do that comparison. I think others will do it, and they can probably do it better than me anyway. But if I'm ever in a guitar center and they have them, I'm going to do it, and I'll let you know what I thought. Right, this is the thing. This is the spanner in the works, Thomas Moore. Lots of people bought the Spark. It was on sale recently, and it was like $250, so it's cheaper. It's not as powerful, it's not as big, but it's a really cool unit, apparently. I never got one. I was going to get one when they first released them, but I got kind of annoyed with the delays, and I got annoyed with the fact that the app that I tried didn't seem that good. But now we're a year or two later. A lot of my friends got those on sale or used, and they absolutely love it. Some people even use it at open mic. So I think the Spark is maybe a better way to go. But the Spark won't perform like the 100-watt Katana or Catalyst will do, will it? Because it's a bigger box, the bigger speaker. The box and the speaker in these things are very important for your tone, I've realized. I tried a mini Mesa Mark V 25 in the tiny enclosure with a 1x10 speaker, and it really didn't satisfy me at all. And I believe it was because the size of the box. The Mark V 35 with the 112 is so much bigger sounding because it's in a bigger box. So sometimes physics play a really important role. But the Spark is something I'd like to check out at some point, definitely. Didn't Boss have another model too, Next Tone? Yeah, they have other versions too. They have like the Artist and the Next Tone, which apparently sound even better. Look, Rodrigo! Rodrigo is here. How you doing, my friend? It's been too long. We must do a gig together one of these days on the internet. Tell me what your current acoustic guitar rig is, please. Please share with us. Oh, it's an acoustic. Okay. Well, if there's a Elvis Aaron Presley Gibson in the works, I will have to investigate because I love Elvis and he has a great name. In fact, Elvis's middle name is one of the best names I've ever heard in my entire life. Apart from Rodrigo. That's a better name than Aaron. Gear Talk. Tell me about those new reverbs and you thinking about using the HX Stomp as an effects for acoustic guitar. Like reverbs, delays, and looper. Okay, I need a drink first though. I think, here's the thing. People say to me, we've spoken about this before, Rodrigo. Which preamp should I get for my acoustic guitar? And in my experience, high quality preamps are really cool and important. I'm not knocking their quality and their analogness. But I think for a lot of people, an HX Stomp is a better way to go. I think it's cheaper. I think it's got more options. You can make it do whatever you want. You're not just stuck with like whatever EQ they give you. You can add 10 EQ or 8 EQs. You've got so much flexibility. Is it the ultimate all-in-one? No. Like the looper on that is not good enough for what I do. The looper on the Quad Cortex is much closer for me. But then again, the Quad Cortex doesn't load IRs at such high quality as HX Stomp. So that's not quite there either. The HX Stomp is a good product because it's so small and can substitute so many situations. It can be your backup rig. It could be your main rig. It could be just a single pedal IR loader on a pedal board. So it's really good for that. So I don't think it's the ultimate acoustic DI. I think one of those $1,000 Felix things is probably going to be high quality if you're into that kind of gear. But it's so much more affordable and flexible, and it will do your electric and your acoustic. It's a great pedal. It really is. For me, of all the Helix stuff, Helix Native, because of the power it can have from your computer and recording, and HX Stomp are the key products for me. I still like to see them do more with them, but they're really good products. So yeah, that certainly won't do everything for me, Rodrigo, but it's a great add-on to what you already have. Do I use it live though? No, I don't. I still use the TC Helicon pedals because they do the vocal harmonies really well. Would you get an HX Stomp XL over an HX Effect? I have the Pod Go. You see, this is my point, Thomas. It's like, what do you get? Do you get the HX Stomp, the XL, the Pod Go? They're all the same thing in a different uniform, right? It's kind of frustrating. I've even had that frustration myself. I tried the Stomp XL and I didn't like it. I found it kind of big and counterintuitive, and I was upset they didn't add more DSP to it. So I'd rather have my Morningstar MC8 with a Stomp, personally. Podgo I didn't really like either. I found it too limited in DSP and paths and things. I just didn't like it. I don't really use the expression pedal. For me, I mean lately I'm playing mostly my amps, the Quad Cortex and a Kemper, and then the Stomp is like on my board as my additional on my pedal board. I don't use that often as like additional stuff. I do use Native a lot. I think Native is great because it's got unlimited DSP pretty much. For me, the Helix floor is too big these days. I think they should make a new version which is smaller. This is all my opinion. Please don't hate me. I don't know what to recommend you to get. HX Effects. HX Effects to me doesn't do enough. I wouldn't get that either. You have the Pod Go and M9. I mean, that's a good combination already. Are you thinking about switching then? I would just, for me, there's so many compromises with each of the products that I would just stick to one and just make the most of it because they all have something the other one's missing, right? But my ultimate choice is an HX Stomp regular with a MIDI controller like the MC8 because then that MIDI controller can do other stuff. For example, on Sunday, I was using that MC8 to put stuff up on the live stream. So it's a great product. It's so flexible. Rodrigo said, nice to see you. We should totally do a... Yeah, we should. I now have this option of making it so when people send me a super chat, Rodrigo, it goes to charity if I enable it for that particular day or week or whatever. And also I have the option of streaming where it would go live to my Facebook, my YouTube, and your Facebook and your YouTube. So if we pick a charity together, we could go live and do a concert together on both of our channels, and then each of our friends and viewers can watch both of us and then donate to a good charity. I think we should do it sometime. Just a public open invitation. Send me an email if you want to do it. Bill Springer said, just got in after lunch. Well, now I'm hungry, Bill. Yeah, today was not a hard episode, Bill. It was very easy to do because there's so much to talk about. Rodrigo is using the HD28 Martin or GS Mini Taylor with the Felix 2. So that is a nice fancy preamp. For effects, I'm using the built-in reverb, delay, and compression from the TouchMix 8. I like the TouchMix stuff. That's cool. As a vocal pre, I'll be using a JHS Colorbox version 2. I'll have it soon. That is a great rig. Why would you change anything about that rig? The idea is to use the Felix 2 and Colorbox to make the acoustic and vocal sound the way I want, and then use the powerful EQ of the TouchMix to control the room. I mean, the TouchMix is so powerful, right? There's so much power in that thing. It's almost too much power. So what pickup is in your GS Mini and in your Martin, Rodrigo? Do you have the expression system? I really want to review the expression system soon because I haven't got that yet in my reviews. T says, I know I'm getting ahead of myself. Oh, can't click here. 1 second. I know I'm getting ahead of myself, but BB King's 100th birthday would be 2025. Gibson are bound to bring... Oh, of course. Of course. Gibson are really great lately at releasing new stuff. Gibson are constantly releasing exciting new products, I feel. They're doing a good job right now. Rodrigo, I just don't know how to make those live streams with other people. I'm completely lost about it. Send me a message teaching me and let's make this happen. It's very easy. I will host it. All you've got to do is set up your camera. I'll send you a link. You click the link. You join. I do a song. You do a song. I do a song. We can't play together, unfortunately, because of latency. Although there is a product I might be trying soon that will deal with that, but you have to buy the box to do it. But anyway, we would alternate. You do a song, I'll do a song. You do a song, I do a song. And then I'll also send you a link you can click, and it'll make that go onto your channel. We'll be broadcasting to both our channels, both our Facebook pages, and also other people can add as well if they want to, which is kind of cool. Like if you've got a friend that has a channel, they can even stream it on their channel as well. And then anyone that donates for those streams will go to charity on the super chats. We'll talk about it. I'm a huge Elvis fan as well. Hopefully we're both lucky to pick one up. It's more on room. But let me just Google this. You've got me wondering now. Gibson Elvis signature. So that would be would that be like a J200? Well, I bet it's better than I've still got my Noel Gallagher J150, and I always think to myself, a J200 standard is probably a better guitar. It's just not a rare signature model. But the Elvis Presley J200 would probably be a really good guitar. And some might disagree and say that actually the J150 is a better guitar, but I don't know. I played a J200 custom shop when I went to Gibson in Nashville last summer, and it was really nice. Oh, here's a question for you though. Here's a question for everybody. Here's a potential issue. If they re-release this guitar, and let's say it's affordable, but it's like his original and has his name on it, would you still want it? Because you said to me earlier in the chat, and when I say you, I mean you said to me, you don't like signature models. Some people said you don't like signature models, right? So, the Harrison is kind of a signature, but not really. His signature's not on it, and it was never actually a signature model. It was just a gift. The first Martin we looked at today is a signature model, so however you feel about that is fine. But how would you feel if they release this guitar and it looks like this? And it looks like this. Let me try that again. Oh, one more time. It looks like this. It's not working again. Let me try again. There we go. How would you feel if they released this guitar and it's like, would you buy the Elvis Presley signature? What I'm saying is, would you buy the Elvis Presley signature if it had his name written on there like that? I always say this with these guitars. I actually want one of these guitars with Aaron Short music on it because people might subscribe to my YouTube channel at a gig. I want that. I want a custom shop guitar with Aaron Short music on the fretboard, or Aaron Short. I do. I think it's kind of cool. It's retro and it's great if you're trying to grow some kind of brand on the internet. But will I play that with Elvis Presley written on it? And I hand it over to the chat while I drink my coffee. Type your answers, please. Is the screen different on the Stomp XL and interface compared to Stomp? No, it's exactly the same. But just the way the switches are there, I know, and the modes switching, I got confused. Probably just me, probably just I didn't study it enough. I don't know. And it's not flexible enough for me. An MC8 connected to a HX Stomp original is very flexible, and I love that flexibility. I didn't get that from the Stomp. I think they should have added more DSP. When they made the Stomp XL, they should have added another chip. So you basically get a Helix in a Stomp XL. And if they also added a mic input, that would have been interesting for people like myself and Rodrigo. But they didn't do it, so that's fine. I had to find something else. What is the Felix? The Felix is a very expensive analog preamp for acoustic guitar made of the finest components. I sound like I'm joking, but I'm serious. It's like $1,000, $600,000. And do you hear those differences is the question. I'm sure it's great. I never actually tried one. I'm sure it's fantastic. But my point is to most people, if you're going to spend $1,000 on that, I think I'd rather see you buy an HX Stomp that can do other stuff as well. But that's a bit like saying, would you buy an HX Stomp over a tube amp? Well, no, I wouldn't. I'd rather have a tube amp, so I get why people buy the Felix. So one day I'll try one. Bill says, I've been using the Boss Katana 2 with all the dial-in effects. Great little amp. There you go. The only drawback is having to go to the amp every time you want to change sounds. Well, Bill, no, don't they sell the $150 foot switch to change things? And don't they also have an app where you can make changes, or on the computer? I believe they do, which is really cool. The Katana 2 100 watt is a great solution. Yeah, that's probably what I should have got instead of a tube amp for a wedding band. I'm only using K&K equipped guitars. Oh, interesting. I use the pure MIDI in both and mix it with an internal mic. Interesting. I tried that in one of the reviews I did of the Sun Audio preamps, and it sounded great. On the HD28, I'm using the microphone from the Trinity system. In a GS Mini, I'm using the AKG C516. Okay, so you've gone over to K&K and a mic. That is a good system. That is probably the most natural system you'll get. I'm currently using the Anthem a lot of the time because I like that slightly unnatural, bit more aggressive sound myself. But that's cool. That's a good system, especially if you know how to dial it in properly with that mic and everything. Bill Springer, are the Katana effects just like the Boss effects? I believe they are. That one's too small. A small signature is fine. I agree. If you can't see this, if you can't read the signature, unlike the Elvis Presley, where you can clearly read the signature. Alan says, I wouldn't buy it, but I'd play it on stage if someone stuck it in my hand and said, play it. Well, wouldn't you play anything if they gave it to you to play on stage? Exactly. Okay, exactly. Wouldn't you play anything? That's not a good, Alan, that's not a good judgment of the gear. I'd play anything that was given as well. Actually, well, within reason. Maybe if it was terrible, I wouldn't. But my point is really, let's face it, this Elvis model they release is going to be 3,000 to 5,000 or more. Would you buy it? I guess if you're an Elvis fan, you might do. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. I don't know they're going to do this. They might not put his name. They might do it without his name in order to sell more units. I saw that Neumann is working on some sort of little microphone to use with stringed instruments. I'm really looking forward to that. Me too. I want to try it. So Rodrigo, I currently use a small microphone that I was sent to review. It's worth about $150. Very good microphone. I've been using it on my Saturday lessons. Saturdays now at 1 p.m. I do guitar lessons of songs, and I've been using that mic with great results. Since I love that mic so much, I tried the more expensive $600, oh, help me out here, the famous mic that clips on the guitar, and it broke. And I've never heard of those mics breaking, but mine broke. I had to return it within a week, so it really scared me. And I now hear that Neumann are making their own version. So I think I'd like to try the Neumann version, because I use Neumann mics on my guitar and Sennheiser. So I'd like to try this new one. So it's basically competing with that. What am I thinking about here? The DPA, that's it. The DPA microphone, it competes with that. Let me see if I can find it, see if there's any information about this yet. Neumann clip-on mic. I saw that press release too. Yes, I found it. I'm laughing because when Martin released their new what are they called? SC13 guitars last month. Their headline was "Something big is coming," and I got really excited. Something big is coming. I was so really excited. And then they released special editions of the SC13, which to me was not a huge thing. Again, just my opinion. But on this website, it says something small is coming. So I was laughing to myself. Look, something small is coming. Yeah, so I'd like to try this one. Again, be great to compare this to the DPA. Neumann make great stuff. I'd love to compare the two. That's not really something I'm able to do because they're going to be like $600 each, but I certainly would like to try at least this one. The DPA just scared me. Again, that's just my experience. I've not heard of anyone else having a problem with the DPA microphone, but the one I got broke within a week. So I don't want a $600 microphone that breaks that easily. It was really very frustrating. So this one I'd like to see. It says here the miniature clip mic system will launch spring 2022. And they're currently accepting pre-orders from dealers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that into Sweetwater and see if that comes up. By the way, while we're talking about it, one last release this week, in case you're interested, there's a new microphone from Universal Audio. You know, I'm really into Universal Audio. I love their plugins. I love the Apollo Twin. I'm using it right now. I love their guitar pedals. I've got the reverb pedal. I love it. They're now making a microphone for live streamers and podcasters, which is really cool. It's affordable. It's $300. I haven't tried one. I doubt it will replace what I already have, but I would love to check that out. I don't see this new mic available anywhere on Sweetwater. I guess they're not shipping yet. It's just news articles right now. Okay, but yeah, I'd like to try that. I really like the clip-on mic. The thing about the clip-on mics is they can fall off. They do fall off. And that's why you need one that's well made. Also, some people think they can mark the guitar. I don't know. Maybe it does. Maybe it doesn't. But I love the one I'm using on Saturdays for the lesson. I think it works great. And it means you can move around and keep the same sound. It's great for guitar reviews too. So I definitely want to try this when they release it and maybe compare it to the DPA and then choose one. But like I said, I'm a bit nervous about the DPA because of what happened. If it was the same as that, no, but a figure of Elvis on the headstock and Elvis Presley on the fret of it, yes. Yeah, I agree. DPA, that's right, yeah. The DPA mic. And, oh, excuse me. Let me just check this here, this DPA microphone. Because, like I said, I'm kind of surprised. I've not heard anyone complain about the DPA mic. I've only ever heard great things. And some people even use them live as well. I don't know what happened. It was probably just a one-off. I should probably try one again. But if I try one again, I probably want to get some kind of... I don't do extended warranties, but I think I'd want to have some kind of warranty or at least speak to the company first of all. Obviously that scared me a bit, what happened. But all I ever usually hear is great things about them. I don't think I'd use it live because when you clip it on, you've got to be so careful you don't knock it off the guitar. I know some people do use them live. I don't think I would, but I would certainly use it for live streaming. And I'm really impressed because even that cheaper one that I have been using, straight into the Apollo Twin, and then I have the other mic above me for the voice. It's blah, blah, blah. It sounds so good. I'm like, it really is true. The cheapest microphone sounds better than the most expensive pickup. So that's something that Doug says, right? Something that Doug says in his pickup reviews, but I think it's true. Oh, here we go. I heard that the 4099 model is really fragile. The clip-on. Oh, right, that's what happened then. It must have got knocked in transit or something, and it just didn't work. So right now the DPA isn't actually coming up on my screen. I don't know why. Let me see here. Sweetwater DPA guitar. Yeah, I got it. Let's see if it loads. Huh. I don't know if Sweetwater's down or just that page, but I can't actually access that right now. Let me see here. No. Sweetwater is not working because everyone's on Sweetwater right now trying to buy a George Harrison Telecaster and a Martin. Oh, here we go. It just loaded. I'm just kidding. So here we go. The instrument microphone with guitar clip. So you got to get the one that has the guitar clip. So they're currently $620. And they have a demo model available for $557. The site is really, really slow. I was looking at the reviews. The reviews are all very strong and positive, it seems. Which is a good sign. But that's not my experience. 5 stars, 5 stars, 5 stars, 4 stars, 4 stars. And someone says the clip is poor. It's very easy to knock the mic off. That's the problem. Because that could be, it'll break it if it falls off. Flimsy mounting arm. So hopefully, let's hope that the Neumann mounting arm is better than the DPA mounting arm. Have I chosen a song for Saturday yet? No, I haven't, not yet. So far we did Stand By Me last week and the week before. What was the week before that? I can't think what it was because I don't play that song in my set normally. It was a nice easy song to do. I'm trying to choose songs that are progressing, so that they're gradually progressing and people can follow it like a kind of a program rather than just random songs. So I have to put a lot of thought into it. The Saruni Audio are completely sold out. Wow, at least 2 months. I want one. Yeah, that's great. The only problem with that is, Alan, that you have to pay the shipping, and the shipping is very expensive. If they could get a dealer here in the USA, they'd sell a lot of those things. I'm not going to say it's as good as these other $600 mics, but it's like a fifth of the price, which is really cool. Oh, David has a DPA. I've had no issues with my DPA other than cheap guitar mounting system. Right. So here's a question, David. Has your DPA ever fallen off the guitar and hit the ground? And if it has the capsule survived? That's my fear with that stuff. Horse with no name. Thank you, Rosanna. I really should add that to my set list. I just chose that because we were talking about it that week and it's 2 chords. So yeah, I think I'm going to wait for the new microphone to be released by Neumann. And then if Sweetwater get them, I'll see if I can get one to compare to the Saruni Audio and see if it's actually worth the upgrade. That would be interesting. And if you're interested in DPA, like I said, I've got mixed feelings about DPA. A lot of people love it. And I just had a bad experience. So I will hope to try one again. But I just had, I'm not going to say had a bad experience. But this is it in case you want to check them out. David likes his, and I hear lots of great things about them online. Remember, any microphone is very fragile. Microphones can feed back. They have fragile capsules. That's why when you play a gig, you don't want someone blowing into a microphone. Yeah, you know when you do like a sound check and a band gets on stage and they start tapping on the mic and they blow into it? You're damaging the microphone. You should not do that. And the problem with these DPA mics is they're very small, and if they fall off the guitar because they don't lock on very well, that's how it can get broken. I caught it before it hit the ground. There we go. I bet if it hit the ground, it wouldn't work anymore. Desperado. I don't think Desperado. I think that's too difficult, Alan. I think that's not that it's too difficult, but I think Horse with No Name was 2 chords, and then Stand By Me was 4 chords, one of which was in the previous week's song. So I think it'd be good to do a song with 2 sections. Definitely. And maybe 2 of those chords and then 1 new chord with 2 sections would be cool. I'm not sure. I gotta think about it. Maybe Desperado. And remember, I can do like the beginner's version and the advanced version as well. So maybe I'll consider it. Also, don't forget, the Eagles are really bad at giving people copyright strikes. So maybe the Eagles are not the best option. Maybe something like Peaceful Easy Feeling. But again, that's an Eagles song. But something like that song, but by a different band. So you've got the verse and the chorus. That way, people are not just playing the same chord progression over and over and over. They actually move between one progression and another progression. That'd be good. Oh, Dog with the Bay. That could be a good one, yeah. That could be good. And you can definitely do an easy version and a difficult version. That would be great, Alan. But like I said, you always hear about those videos getting taken down. And that's never happened to me, but I think I'd rather avoid it if I can, just so it doesn't get taken down, potentially. All right, I think we're done here. I've been on for 1 hour and 20 minutes. That's really great stuff. It's been an exciting week. Like I said, I've really got hyped up this week. I'm glad we got to chat about it between us. Do let me know if you're watching this later on. Do let me know in the comments below if you buy anything, or if you bought anything this week. Let me know what your thoughts are on these announcements. Are you happy with this? Do you think this is great that Martin are making another signature model? Do you think it's great that Fender are reissuing this guitar because it's popular and had a lot of demand? Or do you think they should be doing more new stuff right now? So far this year, we've had things like the Silver Sky SE, the affordable Catalyst amp. We're getting products like the SC13 Special. We're getting a lot of affordable products released. I wonder if this is by design, with the companies looking forward at the start of the lockdown thinking, well, what's going to happen in 2 years' time? And I wonder if we'll get bigger major releases at the summer, not summer NAMM, but the NAMM that's happening in June. I wonder if we'll get bigger releases then, or if they'll be saved for NAMM in 2023. It'll be interesting to see. Let It Be is a good one. Country Roads is a good one. Thank you, Muddy Creek. I appreciate it. Is the Apollo worth the price? All the plugins are made for it, but Motu, Apogee, PreSonus has some nice stuff, much cheaper. Very, very hard to recommend the Apollo Twin based on the price. It's expensive, and then you've got to buy the plugins. So you're looking at investing $2,000 on the whole package with your plugins, but it really is a great device. I have one quibble with it. They're not updating it fast enough for these new computers. The new Mac is finally working with all my software, including Helix Native, which is great. But it still doesn't work natively with the Apollo Twin. It still takes a second to load the application, and I had to turn off some stuff to make it work, which is not good. I want all this stuff turned on that I had to turn off. So they need to get it working with the M1s. It's not acceptable to me. I put a lot of money into this, and it's not working fully with the M1 by Apple, and yet they're releasing new products. That's a bit annoying. But the interesting thing with this microphone they released is that it does communicate with the Apollo Twin. So rather than just plugging in a microphone and selecting a preset like I'm doing today, you can actually connect this microphone and then select a preset to work with the microphone. I believe that's right. And that is exciting. The only thing is the color. It's white. I'm going to give you a link. It's white, and I think that is a little bit, it's a bit kind of obvious looking on your live streams. I'm not sure how I feel about that. I think this is for live streamers that want to stand out. Here we go. I'll put a link in the chat. That's the new microphone. Let me know what you think. I bet it sounds good. It's good that it works with the Apollo. It's $300. That's a good price for this kind of product from a company like Apollo, Universal Audio. Again, no one's tried it yet. We don't know what it sounds like. That's what the most important thing is. And obviously they've made this because so many people are live streaming from home now. There's a huge market for microphones of this type. That's why they've done it. I get it. But we'll have to wait and see if I can review it. But overall, I love the Apollo. The Apollo Twin has been great to me. The plugins sound great. It's intuitive. It's easy. It just works. It just sounds really good. I don't regret my purchase at all. but I really want them to release that software update as soon as possible for my particular unit so it works natively with my computer. That would be so great. But yeah, I'm not looking for anything else. I'm very happy with it. There's been a few little things along the way that I've had to address, and it's not 100%, but as an overall unit and the quality of sound that I get from my productions that I do, I'm very happy with it. It's a cool unit. Thank you, Rosanna. Thanks for moderating today. Had to ban a few bots. That's no problem. That's awesome. All right, so I'm going to go. If you're watching this in the future, please subscribe and ring the bell if you haven't already. It'd be great to see you here again. I'll see you next week. I wonder what happened next week. It's like every week there's some new update. There's been a ton of firmware and software this last 7 days, 14 days, and now this week we've had all this stuff released as well. Let me know in the comments if you're going to get anything, any of these things. Let me know if you've got anything this week, and also if you ever see anything announced that I missed, feel free to let me know as well, because I try to keep up to date with this stuff, but it's very hard to always keep up to date. I'll be live on Saturday for the song lesson at 1 p.m. I'll be live on Sunday for the concert at 4 p.m. And we may have an additional live stream the following week talking about carbon fiber guitars on Friday at 7 p.m. EST, but that's not 100% yet. Well, it's kind of 100%, but I just have to make sure it's 110%, okay? So put that in your diary. Love to see you here. Subscribe and ring the bell. It will tell you when I go live or make a new video. Thanks for watching. If you got anything out of this, if I helped you in any way, feel free to send me a super chat, a super thanks, or buy me a coffee. And if you can't do that, I understand. So please share my channel with friends, invite friends to the concert on Sunday. It'd be great to see some new faces there, and it really helps me grow the channel. Thanks to Lee and Rosanna for moderating, and I'll talk to you all soon. Take care and be well. Bye-bye. I'm not